Good morning. Good morning, my wonderful, amazing artists. I am jumping on here to show you another use for this great, glorious thing called the toilet paper roll. I have done several projects making faces, and I want to keep using this to do projects because everybody has these. And I want to teach kids how to recycle and use things for other purposes. There's always art to be made, but this is something that every parent can get their hands on. And so I'm trying to come up with lots of different projects using this toilet paper roll. This morning I'm going to show you how to do these little weavings on your toilet paper roll, and it looks really complicated, but actually it's pretty easy. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick, and I'm going to try to keep it really brief. If I can't keep it brief, I might make a second video, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do is, I'm going to move these aside for a minute. You're going to have some tape. I think any tape will work. I have duct tape, but you can use just regular tape. And you'll need something like a craft stick, or if maybe mom or dad has a shop, you have dowel rods. You could even put a dowel rod there. I would suggest using a pretty small dowel rod. You could even use pencils or chopsticks. If you had some chopsticks from the Chinese restaurant, you could put those there. You really just want to make sure it's something that's, not going to be too long. You might have to cut it. And you want it to be about 1.5 inches above and still have space to support it down on the toilet paper roll. Okay, so what you're going to do, my friends, is, this is a little tricky, and so I'm not going to use the hot glue gun, but you could use the hot glue gun. You're going to need 5 of those sticks or dowels. Okay, I just happen to have these laying around. Doesn't matter the color. These happen to be colored, and you're going to just place them in a configuration where they're kind of mostly evenly spaced. You can see that around your toilet paper roll. It is tricky to do it, and what I would suggest is, if a kid's doing it or you're frustrated, just hot glue them on. Just a touch of hot glue to secure them into place. And you want to, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking these two are kind of close together, so I'm going to move this guy over a little. And it is important that they're kind of, mostly in an even space. That does come into play later in your weaving. So you want to do that, and then you want to take some tape. I took a piece of this tape and then, about this long, and then I ripped it in half and did one at the top and one at the bottom. And so what you're going to do is take your tape, and you're going to create a little band at the top. This one's got a piece of string on it, and a band at the bottom with your tape. Okay, so I'm not going to make another one of these because I already have 2 of these. Me and my daughter did this together, and it was really fun. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go from here to there, and you're just going to wrap it really good so it's nice and secure. Okay, I'm going to set this one aside because I don't need to really make another one. I might want to use that paper towel roll for something else. I've got a pair of scissors, and I need to grab this yarn. I wanted to show you something about the yarn choices for this project. This is rainbow yarn, and as you can see, it softly goes from one color like a gradient into another color really rapidly. There's not a whole lot of space before it changes color. That's the thing that's going to really make it look nice here. Okay, so if you want it to look like this one, you would need to have the color changing yarn like this rainbow yarn. But when you look at the string, you should just make sure that you're seeing that color change. See, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but right here it starts to change color, and it's already starting to change color here, and it's already starting to change color here. So it's going pretty quick with the color change, unlike my other one from the last project, or that I showed in one of my videos, my yarn painting video. This one, when you go to do this project, it ends up being like this. This one's not very good because it was the first one I did, but you can see how it has blocks of color. So if you want the blocks of color, But if you're doing something small, you're only going to get one color, even though you have a whole skein of different colors. So just beware of whatever your yarn choice is. It will affect the outlook of your piece. Okay. So I prefer for this particular project to use something that the yarn changes color pretty quick and gradually. But it doesn't really matter. You can use any yarn you got. Even if you have some weird color, just grab it and go. I'm going to call this the boredom buster, because this project, some people will never do it, and some people will do it and fall in love with it. And it is almost mindless. Once you learn how to do it, it's very calming and relaxing, and it's something that you can do and then set down and then pick up for 10 minutes if you're bored, and then, you know, maybe you get tired of it and lay it down for a little bit and then get back to what you were doing. Some people can sit and focus on it and get it done in 5 minutes, and some people will do a little bit, put it down, and come back to it. So it's really good for all different kinds of people and their different tastes as far as like how long they want to work on an art project. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to look really, this looks really scary, but I'm going to tell you something, it's not. So let me teach you how to do this. I'm going to set a little timer for myself because I don't want to talk too long. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our yarn and we're going to leave it attached to the ball or whatever. You don't want to cut off a certain amount because you don't really know how much you're going to need. So then you're going to put it here and you're going to throw it down inside. I pull it out about 3, 4, 5 inches at the bottom just to give myself enough space. And one of the little tricks that I did was I cut a little tiny hole or slit right here. If you can see it with my scissor, just a little tiny slit. And then I'm going to slide that yarn that I pulled through there just to kind of hold it in place while I'm starting my weaving. Okay. Now, I need you to probably stop this video and get right to where I am right now, holding your piece, and then you can see how to do this. What's going to happen is, what usually happens in my class is kids get so excited about it that they want to work on it as soon as they think they understand, and then they're not really listening to the directions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to put yours down and watch this just for a minute, because this is the hardest part of the entire thing right here. And it's not hard, it just looks hard, okay? So what we're going to do is our first round, we have to tie it differently than all the rest because it has to lay a little net for our weaving to take root, to anchor it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around the outside, and we're going to loop one, okay? I don't know if you can see that. Or you can go any direction, either way, doesn't matter, okay? But right by where you come up, loop around it, and then you're going to go on the inside between across to the next one. And then you're going to make a loop around that one. And then you're going to come across to the next one, right here. Make a loop. Then you're going to come across to the next one. Make a loop. Across to the next one. Make a loop. And now you've come full circle, except for you got this hole here, right? So for this first one, we're going to go ahead and keep going. And we're going to make 2 loops on each one, okay? Are you ready? Here we go. We'll make another loop, and we're going to go across to the next one. Make another loop, and go across to the next one. Make another loop, go across to the next one. Make another loop, go across to the next one. And now we are at our last loop. And if you look on the sides, all the sides should have 2 strings. I don't know if you can see that. 2 strings on every side. And when we get that made, and that last one, we're going to pull this string down to the side. Just hold it there. You're going to do that most of the time when you get to the end. Now, your next step if you're ready, is to take this one and put it over that. So you have to be careful. You're going to have to pull it just a little bit and make sure this first one is difficult because I got it kind of tight. So you want to pull that bottom string over the top string, leaving the one you just put on the stick. Maybe it's kind of hard to see with my hand, but so there we go. And it will be kind of loose at first, so don't worry about that, okay? So I scoot these down just to keep them from getting away from me. If you get away from you, you just have to twist them back on and around. We're going to pull this guy. You can hold your finger down there and hold that down. Pull this bottom one over the top one. And hold this. You're going to pull this blue over the green, whatever color you've got going on. Okay? And it's going to seem really loose at first. Don't worry. Then you're going to pull this one over that one. Let it just fall down inside like that. If you can see this is what it's going to look like right now. It's making kind of a little net in there, okay? So then you're going to pull this one up over that one and around. And now you've got one on all of the things. That's the hardest part of... Uh-oh, looks like I made a mistake. I don't know. We'll have to see. I did what I was supposed to do, but it looks a little loosey there, but okay. No worries, we'll figure it out. So then, what you're going to do is really easy. Now, you're just going to do a loop all the way around. Okay, until you get to the place where there's already two. Okay, and at that place, you're going to just sort of come down here like this and pull this over. You're going to do that first one first, okay? Now this guy can hang down here and it's not going to be a problem. And you're just going to go back this way, and you don't have to really weave it. You just put it around the outside and put this guy up over the top like this all the way around. And it will be a little loose at first, as I was saying, but I'm going to show you how that tightens up in just a minute. Now we look around and we only have one on all of our things. Okay, so now we're going to wrap it again, and we're just going to keep doing this over and over again. I do suggest going ahead and doing this one first. I got out of order, but that locks it into place, so you don't have to worry too much about that string. And then just go around in order and pull them over the top of this, like this. And that, basically, other than tying it off, is all you do the entire time. So, now I'm going to keep going. I'm going to wrap it around. And at any given time, you only want two on the thing. Okay? So, as I said, hold it here. And then this is where it ends, because this has two. If you can see that, this has got two on it. So, we're going to stop right there. And we're going to go ahead and do that first one. That one's a little tight to do usually, but that's okay. That locks this guy into place so he doesn't get away from you. And then your hands are free to do the other. So you go back and do. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in, other than I suggest doing that first one over here first. But you can go clockwise or counterclockwise. And then the way that you know that you're ready to move on is that all of them only have one loop on them. And then you do it again. Wrap it around, and you can see it's starting to make a little net. Now you can go down here and you can pull this little thing at the bottom and take this out and pull it, and it will tighten the bottom of your piece, your weaving. And so you just keep going around. You just wrap it around one time till you get around to the beginning again. You can see this is where this one has two and this one already has two, so we know that's a stopping place. Now hold it with your finger right here. Pull this one over to lock it in place so that you have your hands free. okay? You can let that down now, and you can go this way or that way, either way. And pull each one over top of the other. Taking the bottom and pulling it over the top and leaving that top one on the piece. And it is that simple, my friends. And if you look down inside, I don't know if you can see that, you'll start to see that the weaving is creating this sort of web inside. And what's going to end up happening, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, is inside you'll be able to see yourself that the weaving is taking place. And what happens is, as you keep going, your weaving will just start coming out the end of your loom, your toilet paper loom. So we've got one on each one, so let's keep going. We're going to go around again, just wrapping it, and we got back around to our beginning again. And I wonder if you went one more, well, I think it's just better to keep just two at a time. Pull this over to lock it in place. Now it's okay, it's secure. And I'm going to keep going around. And I'm going to just go this way. Get this done. And don't worry if it's a little loose. It's okay. Because as we keep going with this weaving, pardon me, it will get tighter and tighter as we keep pulling on our piece down here. And if you keep going and keep going, you get a little bracelet piece. Or, you know, I don't really know. I think if you got really excited about this, you could probably sit and do it and make an entire garland. And you could hang it up in your kid's room or hang it from your kitchen table during your family time just for fun. Oops, I broke my own rule. Go back and do that first one just to lock it in place so you don't lose it. You want to make sure that you don't let that one go off. If you do lose a string, just look at it, make sure you keep it in line, and maybe twist it back before you put it back on there just to make sure it's right. Okay, we got it around, and now we're doing our next one. Make sure your string's laying at the top, on the top one, not down below. You don't want to do that. That'll get you confused, and you'll end up dropping strings. Go all the way around until you make it to the place where there's two. Do your first one. You got to watch out for those splinters too. If yours are a little splintery, I would sandpaper them a little before giving it to the kids. And sometimes your string gets caught, so you have to kind of be careful. But once you get over the initial process of doing this, it goes really fast. And you can sit and watch a cartoon, or mommy wants to watch her programs at night, even after the kids go to sleep. This is very relaxing to do. Maybe while you watch Outlander or some other show. You can sit and do this. It's very relaxing. Okay, so as you can see, we're starting to really make almost like a little sock down in there. And what I'm going to do is do a few more of these and then show you how to tie them off, okay? So let's do one more. And of course, mine will be short because I'm trying to keep this video very simple and short for you, okay? I don't want to overload you. This has been really fun. My daughter and I sat and did it again last night together, and she made a little keychain for herself. She put her little house key on it. Got two, okay. Oh, went too far back on that one. Loop it over, loop it over, loop it over. And then after I finish this one, even though mine is really short, you'd really want to normally continue, I'm going to show you how to take it off, okay? I would go out a little ways to give yourself some space, cut the string, and then you are going to go on the side right here, and you're going to put that string up under right there and pull it through. Slide it right under the stick on the outside of the piece, not on the inside. I don't know if it'll do anything different on the inside, but the outside works, so let's go with that. We're going to pull this off. Now we've hooked that to our string. We're going to stay on the outside of the piece, and we're going to put this underneath right here and pull it right off the end of the piece. It's a lot like tying off a knitting or crochet. You're going to put this under this one. You're going to go all the way around. And then as you pull it, you can just pull it right off of the loom. I suggest leaving it on the loom and doing each one separately, because if you pull it off and then try to tie it off, you might have a problem. It might get away from you, especially if kids can get things jumbled up sometimes when they're trying to figure things out. So there's our last piece. Okay, and I'm going to pull that through and watch the magic. Okay, so now realize this is very small. It's not long. You'd want to have something a little longer, but and you see there's almost like a little cinch to a bag. You could even stick your finger in there. See, that's cool. Hey, look, finger gloves. That's pretty fun. Now, you're going to pull it tight and watch what happens. It just closes itself up. This end, when you pull it tight, will close itself up. And you have this beautiful little rope piece. You can make a bracelet out of it. You can use it for a bookmark. Oh, there's my timer. You can use it for a bookmark. You could make a really long one and hang it from the dining table chandelier for a party or something. Okay, so it's pretty fun. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that you have enjoyed watching and learning how to do a toilet paper loom weaving. Have a great day, and don't forget, always create every day.